Brilliance Audio.
Magisteria. The Entangled Histories of Science and Religion by Nicholas Spencer. Performed by John Sackville. It is dangerous to show man too clearly how much he resembles the beast, without at the same time showing him his greatness. It is also dangerous to show him too clear a vision of his greatness without his baseness. It is even more dangerous to leave him in ignorance of both. Pascal, Pensées. Introduction. The natures of the beast. The story of a story. 3 tense exchanges, 3 quick-witted responses. Rome, the 22nd of June, 1633. A 69-year-old man is forced to kneel before an assembly of religious judges. He looks frail and broken by months of interrogation. He holds a lit candle in one hand and in the other a pre-prepared text. The statement denies his life's work and compels him to abjure, curse, and detest a scientific theory that he has spent 30 years promoting and that he knows to be true. Failure to comply will result in his torture. Reluctantly, he reads the statement in full and then, as he struggles to his feet and leaves the room, mutters under his breath, "Eppur si muove." Still it moves. Oxford, the 30th of June, 1860. Nearly 800 people are crammed into a cavernous but stuffy library. Having sat through a tedious lecture, they are fractious, anticipating a lively exchange between 2 eminent Victorians concerning the scientific theory of the moment. They are not disappointed. After his introductory remarks, one of them, a prince of the established church, makes a jibe about whether his opponent would prefer ape ancestry on his grandmother's or grandfather's side. The other, a pugnacious scientist not cowed by episcopal condescension, whispers to a friend, "The Lord hath delivered him into mine hands," before replying that he would rather be descended from an ape than a bishop. The crowd is outraged or elated. Either way, there is uproar. One woman faints. Dayton, Tennessee, the 20th of July, 1925. 3,000 people stand in front of a courtroom. The nation is listening on the radio, and millions will read about the proceedings in the following day's newspapers. They are watching 2 men play intellectual cat and mouse on a temporary stage erected on the court lawn. One, a 65-year-old politician, perhaps the most famous in the country, is answering questions about the Bible. Or rather, he is trying to. The other, 3 years older, and the country's most famous lawyer, is inching closer to his prey. Do you believe the story of Noah's flood to be literally true? Yes, sir. When was that flood? I would not attempt to fix a date. About 4004 BC? That is the accepted estimate. Don't you know? I never made a calculation. What do you think? I do not think about things I do not think about. And then the killer line. Do you think about things you do think about? The courtyard and the nation erupt into laughter, and the politician on the stand withers in the heat and humiliation. The abjuration of Galileo, the Huxley-Wilberforce debate, and the Scopes monkey trial have long since passed from history into myth and stand as iconic encounters in the endless war of religion against science. At first, religion wins, but only by compelling the greatest scientist of the age to deny the truth that the earth moves around the sun. Hence Galileo's parting aside. Almost 250 years later, religion, no longer able to resort to the threat of torture, turns to mockery but meets its match in the form of biologist Thomas Huxley, who ably defends Darwin's new theory of evolution against the ignorant, browbeating Bishop Samuel Wilberforce. Finally, in the American South, religion, now firmly on the defensive, is publicly humiliated before a huge audience, and retreats bruised and bloodied, but vowing vengeance.